Hello, and welcome to Live at 12:45. I'm here with Yuli, and thank you for joining me. We are going to be talking about a woman's life. Today is the first day of October, and on this first day, it is a month where, as women, we are going to honor women's lives and how we find great balance in our lives and what our health means to us. So we open this month talking about your life, Yuli. And we'll talk to women every Monday and Thursday whose lives are all completely unique and yet have a lot of similarities. So please tell us a little bit about your life. Start with what is your favorite part about your life today?
My favorite part about my life right now is that I get to do many things.
Yes.
I get to do many things, and I call it the big multitasker. Many hats at the same time, and I keep myself entertained, I guess. And at the same time, it means that I really need to balance. But that word is a tricky one.
It is a tricky one,
because
absolutely.
there is such a thing as a balance. I would call it more center.
Yes.
And as soon as you know and you find your center, then you can really go ahead and do many
I think that's very real. And when we talk about being centered in our lives, we're really talking about finding that peace, that calm, that love center, because it's not a balance of what's fearful and what's love. It's truly finding the center within yourself and within that truth within. Where do we find joy? Where do we find fulfillment? And it is in that love and joy and fulfillment within ourselves that our body finds its natural rhythm, its natural balance, and brings us better health. So tell us, in career a little bit, since you've got all these things you do, you've got family and career and all these things. How did you start in career and where are you today? Tell everybody how you got to where you are today.
Great. So right now I'm working on a beautiful project that we started last year. It is called Boca Family Magazine. And what we aim to do is just to put out there great content for all families, and coming from a very positive, nurturing place, meaning that anything that is there is something that will generate a quick thought of saying, hey, I can do that, or we can do that, or oh, we're doing that. And that is what we have been doing. So we are local. It's a very boutique magazine for Boca Raton. And it has been quite a ride, I have to tell you, because it's learning how to encompass being a mother, a wife, definitely a daughter as well, because I take care of part with my parents, and just also developing another side of my professional aspect, meaning like I'm learning how to be an entrepreneur, learning all the ropes of everything that has to do with doing everything at the same time, and stressing on the things that are going good or not good, and it has been a ride. It has been very interesting.
I'm sure. How did you start your career? You didn't start your career in such a creative, entrepreneurial way. You started it quite a bit different.
Yes, my background is more like in technological background, because I'm a systems engineer, and I got to work for a long time with technology for elections. So that's what I used to do before.
Wow.
And it required for me to travel around the world. So when the kids came along, in that moment, I really did have to make a choice. And the choice was, of course, my family. And I found out, of course, being the multitasker I cannot just do one thing. And I was, what can I do right now that can serve my community, give me satisfaction, help people? And something I have always done is family.
And I love what you've heard her say in several levels. One, that she is a daughter and a mother, so it's that female lineage, right? That she put family first, and consequently here she has this new business that she has opened up, Family Boca Magazine, really hitting this market in particular. And so we're hearing a lot about a woman's way of doing things. She has family came first. She had to make a choice, then the career. And in that career, she's definitely looking for balance. And she doesn't want the career to interfere with the family any more than family with career. Yes. I want to thank Marcy and Bentley for joining us today, by the way. So let's move on to the next question. In all of this that you're doing, and in being a woman of a mother and so active in family culture, what do you do to take care of yourself on a regular basis?
Wow. I have gone to the not to do's to find out what to do. One thing that I feel is very, very important is the me time.
Yes.
And the me time, I call it fill your cup, because first you find your center and you know what is really most important for you. Principles and values and all those things that you cannot compromise, because that is going to make you feel bad as a person with yourself and so on. So first, once you find your center and you don't compromise, you have to do stuff that fill your cup. The things you love. I love going to the beach, and I love being in front of the water and just resting and soaking in like all the sun. I love to read. I love to write. And just to see it in silence, which is something that when you're surrounded by family and you're doing many things at the same time, not too much silence.
So how do you incorporate all of those yummies into your daily life? And is it something that you can do on a daily or a weekly or a bi-weekly? How, on a guess, how frequently do you think you tie that in?
I, for sure, weekly, but I'm working on making it daily, because the other thing that I do is that I walk with my husband, and we like to take the morning to walk together. And that's our time to synchronize and to just get our alone time and just discuss things that we don't, it's not necessarily having somebody around, it's just our time.
Absolutely.
So I need to wake up earlier or go to bed a little later, so I have that silence and I can do my stuff. But it's more surely weekly and more like daily.
Yes, and I think we're hearing again, I think this is true for most women, and I'd love to hear from all of you out there, that we tend to fit our time in outside of the family. So let me ask you one more question, and then I'm going to shift gears a little bit. In your magazine, there was an article I read by a woman. I think that article you brought to my attention, and you love the message. Would you like to talk to the audience and to the women out there in particular about that article and what you loved about it?
Thank you. That is actually a friend of mine that she went through the experience of having breast cancer. And she's a very special person. She's a very, I would call center, meaning that the values are very aligned on everything that she's doing, and very spiritual person. So she has a family with 2 girls and a husband, and she was going through that situation. And what it caught my attention is the reason why I asked her to collaborate on the mom-to-mom section was because she totally refused to let that experience determine her person.
Correct.
And that was the first time, because it's very frequent, and I have not experienced that, and in my family we don't have a history of cancer, so that's why it was very novel for me. But she said, I refuse to call myself a survivor. And I asked, what do you mean? And she said, but because this is a life experience that we have gone through, and actually we have had other life experiences, because getting married is a life experience, having children is a life experience, and having an illness, I will not let that determine who I am. So that is why it was very interesting, because she observed all the things that happened through her life and how she went to the other side, which was health in that case. But it was very, very interesting and very unique. And then she shared with us all those things that you as a mom and as a woman need to consider.
And it's so fascinating, because what she realized is she wasn't going to let an illness determine her definition and identify with the illness or with any other experience in this life. And as women, one of the things that we've spoken about, or that I've spoken about on my live show, is that we have been defined as women by society for thousands of years. And this is the time where women are refusing to be defined by others. And so in this month, we are making a break from this definition of the month of October and opening it up to a month of life and health and wellness, from women to look at how do we determine various experiences in our lives. So let me ask you a question. With your health, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to you?
Wow, it has to be a 9, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Because that if I am not healthy and I'm the one that is running so many different roles, if I fail to everybody.
Right. So here we are, the mother in the article has daughters. your children are?
I have my children are 11 and 9.
Okay, a daughter?
A daughter first and a son.
Son second. That's what I thought. I didn't know if I remembered that correctly. So you've got a mother. She's a mother. She's got a daughter. So in that female lineage, what's the message we're giving to our daughters? To be defined by others or by illness or by any other external imposing force, or by who we are, what we are, and the power that we have to heal within ourselves and to heal those around us. So how do we begin to define ourselves separate from all of these external pieces? And it's what really this month is going to be about, that women, speaking to women about this life that we lead, how often we take care of everybody else first. How do we find that place inside our lives to put our health first? And then what is it that we're willing to do and can do? Let's not put too many shoulds in that equation, because that creates more stress for us. And as we know, stress throws that imbalance into health because it fragments our body. So how do we bring all of that back? And we'll be looking at those pieces as we go forward through the month. And so I'm going to ask one last question. Do you use thermography?
If I what?
Do you use thermography for your health?
You know what? That is funny, because I'm not going to say how much, about 40, but definitely about 40, and I haven't done it yet. But if I will do the thermography. Yes, that's what I want to do, because I research about it, and it's definitely a conscious decision. I don't mind paying for my test, because for whatever reason, insured, yes, but I think that it makes all the sense in the world. Absolutely.
Yes. So I'm hoping I've left most of you out there with a question in your mind, and that you too will look up thermography. It will be a theme as we go forward, only because I want us all as women to start looking within ourselves, do our own research, and realize that there are many options out there for our health beyond what we have been told. So I want to thank you so much for today. This is our first day. Julie was, I call her Julie, however you want to say it, because it's the Latin, and I don't get the Y with the J thing, right? But Julie has been wonderful at stepping in and being the guinea pig, doing our very first Monday. Yay! And so we're looking very forward to moving on through the month. You'll be meeting many, many magnificent women as we go forward, all looking at how do we balance our lives, and during this month, what it means to us. And so I thank you for being the point person and allowing women to start to open up their thoughts and their heart to how we're going to define ourselves at this time and through our health.
Thank you for having me here. And you're doing such an amazing job, because there are so many issues and mindsets, mostly, I would say, that need to be open up there for us to discuss and just say, hey, there is a different way. And I thank you so much for bringing up everything.
You're so welcome, and thank you for saying so. I really enjoy doing this, and I do love life, and it has been a joy to really connect with all of the women and the men. I have, I work with a tremendous number of men, but this month we're talking about the women. So I thank you all for joining me, and I look forward to seeing everyone on Thursday for our next guest, who's going to be Raina, and she comes in from a very different angle, and we'll be looking at what her life is about and what special gift she brings to the table. I thank you again. Please join me on YouTube, and feel free to subscribe there, and we'll see you again Thursday live at 12:45. Thank you again, Yuli.